Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good Lord, I look pale. Good morning, good morning, good morning. One second. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see what we got going on today. Just picking up general energies. Quick message, see what comes out and what comes about. Cord cutting keeps coming out. Alright, what do we got today? We got Cancer again. We got Neptune. Strong intuition undercurrents there. We got 3. Right? 3 can be coming together as a collaboration, or it could be third-party situations. Sometimes third-party situations are not a bad thing. Sometimes that's coming together as a community and as in unity and in celebration, right? That's the difference between the 3s. Depends on which timeline you're manifesting, right? We got the sun. We got the moon. Oh, I love this. This is going to be great. I can't even, like, it just... Here we go. We got the sun. Got the moon. I'm not playing. We got the star. We got intuition. And we got crossroads. And just as I was flipping them over and looking at them, what came to my mind was 3 things cannot be hidden for long. The sun, the moon, and the truth. Right? There's definitely a crossroad coming up here. Definitely got some sort of truth coming out. Let's see what we got for the 3D, 4D, 5D for this. Alright, we got a bunch here again. So this is coming out as like a major collective shift is happening right now. It's definitely picking up on a major collective shift. Alright, we got peaceful among the thorns, right? Just sitting still and being quiet, not making any sudden moves to keep the peace. And as much as you want to try to portray that energy, the universe is not responding to what you are doesn't respond to who you supposed to be, responds to who you are genuinely on the inside. So sit there and act all peaceful if you want to. You're pissed. You're pissed. You're pissed. You're obsessed with change. Obsessed with change, obsessed with figuring out how to change the situation. And then I got the child I was meant to be. Your inner child is pissed. Which 99% of your shadow, I've always found, maybe it could be because I'm not a toddler of the universe, Aries, but my shadow is usually a wounded inner child, pitching a temper tantrum. Right? River, movement. Something about moving, living water, right? Oh, story. I always like that Garth Brooks song, The River, whenever I see that card. And the message in the song is a lot of, it's just like, you're never going to get anywhere if you're just sitting on the shore, right? Oh. The Lady. The Lady, number 29. Bringing in the power of 11. Oh, we did this the other day. The peasant or the princess, right? The lady, the woman, the feminine. There are two versions. You choose the princess or the peasant. The lady is a quintessential feminine figure in the fairy tales. The princess needs her love match. In all classic tales, she is the one who makes the hero yearn to be a better person. The feminist leading aside, the lady represents the feminine side of life. Here, our princess wears a gown featuring purple, the color associated with royalty. She dresses to influence those around her. She is not without her power of her own. The peasant lady we feature in Cinderella. Remember that no matter if our lady is a servant or a princess, the tale is important. Her presence in the deck is straightforward. If you are questioning about a woman, this is the card that is that woman. If it is for a man, choose the woman in his life. Pay attention to the cards that her hands are pointing at. All right, so... and we talk a lot about that, right? And it's something I ain't heard that there's a lot of problems in the witch community with toxic masculines, right? And it's this whole fucking dominatrix thing that's going on, right? And it's like, men want a submissive woman. Well, what if I told you that it is in the divine feminine's natural nature to be submissive? But here's the thing. Women naturally want... Don't even get me started on this shit. I'm just going to tell it how it is, right? Naturally down to the basic core, whether you identify as a feminine or a masculine based on your genitals is up to you. But the divine feminine energy naturally wants to be soft. It naturally wants to be genuine. It wants to feel safe enough in an environment in order to be soft and genuine and open, right? But that's not what happens. What happens is most of us, most divine feminines, end up in a situation where the masculine doesn't make them feel safe. They don't feel like the masculine can defend or protect them, and they also feel afraid of the masculine themselves. So in defense of that, a lot of feminines have taken to mirroring masculine energy, right? Ralph used to be able to word it really well, but it was something along the lines of the masculine's job is to defend and protect the feminine so that they can walk in safety and trusting their intuition. I'm telling y'all, I can't lie about this shit. Can't even make it up. But when the cards are right on point with me. Alright. I don't know. I grew up in military family, so I grew up in military housing, so there was definitely this weird dynamic when you grow up in situations like that, because one parent's gone a good deal of the time, right? So it's almost like the parent that's not in the military on and off has to play both roles all the time, right? So like, and especially for me, because I did this back in the 80s, it was mostly the men. Back in the 80s, when women in the military got pregnant, the military would let them out of the military to go raise the children. They would let one parent out, right, to raise the child, take care of children. They don't do that anymore. But yeah, so there was a lot of times when like all the dads would be gone for 6 months. There'd be a major deployment and all the boats would go because it was Navy. And yeah, the moms would all be left behind. So it would be the moms fixing the sink and the moms doing these things, right? And there's nothing wrong with making sure that your daughters know how to deal, whatever, change their own oils and tires if they have to, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. But there's something to be said that is lost in a generation where we tell men to no longer open doors and pull out chairs or do any type of gentlemanly, like, chivalrous manners anymore, right? Like, there's no more tests like The Bronx Tale, right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie. If you haven't, look it up. And it's going to be called The Test, and it's The Bronx Tale. And it's a scene where this mobster's letting a kid borrow his car to go take this girl on a date, right? And he's like, you got to give her the test. And he's like, what's the test? He goes, well, you make sure that both the car doors are locked when you go to get her from her house, right? Back in those days, you did not beep your horn. You got your ass out of your car. You walked up to your girlfriend's door. You knocked on the door, and you asked her family to take her out, right? Anyway. So he went and he gets her, and he's like, here's the thing. You open the door for her to get onto the passenger side. He goes, and you walk around the back of the car. If she leans over, and this is before power locks, if she leans over and unlocks your door, she's a keeper. If she doesn't, kick her to the curb. She doesn't care about anybody but herself. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Okay. Right on my cards. Alright. Alright. So I definitely got a lot of passion here in the middle, on the bottom of the 3D here, right? On one side we have this player-esque defensive energy, right? This is where I got the player card for the Seven of Cups to begin with, right? We got this player-esque super defensive energy. On this side we have this ingenuity and moving on card here, right? Moving on from gossip, right? And there's a little bit, I just love this Joker with that ingenuity energy. So you got kind of this player energy, and you definitely got a Joker energy going on here, right? Something clever, clocks, gears, things are moving with this person. And in between these two energies, you got that big energy card, right? That's the Ace of Rods, right? That's the song for this card, that big energy song. That shit cracks me up, man. On the 4D, on the 4D, I see that everybody's aware that there could be a lot of victory here. There's a lot of potential for victory, a lot of positive manifestation, right? Allowing things to flow to you. There's definitely still a lot of healing going on, a lot of finding that balance between the sun and the moon, right? A lot of finding that balance, but there is a lot of also nurturing going on here, right? That Empress card, a lot of nurturing energy. Up here we got the King of Swords on the 5D, right? And the Queen of Wands. Alright, so here's what I'm seeing. We got a King of Swords. This is someone who's highly intelligent. They're figuring things out, right? This is a lot of person that may not speak everything that they think, but they do think a lot. They're a very calculated individual, right? Yeah. We have the Queen of Wands here. Right? She's passionate. She's vibrant. She's enthusiastic. Yeah. You got these two, and you got this energy here, right? Trying to calculate, trying to see forward. Kind of got that waiting for the ship to come in energy, right? Got to definitely, there's going to be a major breaking of tradition, right? There's going to be some sort of breaking of tradition with this Hierophant reversed, right? Then I think that might be something that you might not, whatever it is that you guys are waiting to come into or coming in for, right? There's definitely going to have to be some sort of break of regular tradition, break of the regular way of doing things in order to find stability. Breaking with tradition to find stability is the energy that I'm getting, right? I want some more. Breaking from tradition. Other advice. Some clarity. That reverse Hierophant. We got a reverse Knight of Wands here. We got a reverse Knight of Wands here. This is a nasty player energy, the Knight of Wands reversed, right? This is big dick energy, but in an asshole type of way. This is someone who's very guarded. They're very manipulative with sexual energy, right? This is definitely the player card here, right? This is the Seven of Pentacles. There's definitely a reaping of what you have sown that is going on here. There's a reaping of what you have sown. There's having to break out of the Hanged Man position, all right? This is definitely picking up on the masculine here. This is, you have to figure out now, okay, so you're stuck. You've been stuck. You've learned lots of lessons while you're stuck. But you know what? It's kind of becoming your own fucking problem now, right? Now you're manifesting your own stuckness. It's time to manifest being unfucking stuck, right? It's time for you to figure out, if you know how you got into this situation, if you knew how you manifested yourself into this shit situation, and you reaped what you sow, if you believe that you have paid your karmic debts, then it is time for you to unstick yourself, right? How are you going to unstick yourself? How do you unstick yourself? So freaking terrible, I know. This is going to be the hardest thing you probably ever heard in your fucking life. I'm going to give you some advice that you probably would never think of, because ever since you woke up, you have been stuck in this weird position, and your heart's all fucked up and funny, and you don't know what you're doing, and you know what you need to fucking do? What makes you fucking happy? What? You need to do something that makes you happy. No. 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 Not that either. Everything you just thought of involved somebody else's happiness. And it's very sweet. And it is a very beautiful energy that you have as an empath, and your empathic abilities. And it's a reason empath have this thing about always being around children and animals and things like that, and why, you know, why? Because it's so easy to mirror that happy energy. But it's not your energy. You're just amplifying somebody else's and mirroring it back and forth. That is not your Nine of Cups. It's their Nine of Cups. And it's beautiful that you're helping them find that. But when was the last time you did something that made you feel like the Nine of Cups? Alright? You gotta stop worrying about whether it's gonna cause conflict for other fucking people. Quite honestly, If doing what makes you happy makes someone else unhappy, cut that fucking person out. If doing what makes you happy makes someone else unhappy, cut that bitch out your life. Cinderella, what? You can't go to the ball. Oh, you got a nice dress. We're going to tear up your dress. We're going to make sure that you don't go to the ball. We're going to ruin your life so that you can't have this happiness, because you being happy pisses us off. Cut them bitches out your life. Cut them bitches out your life. You don't have any time or space for those negative, nasty people who do nothing but tear you down. Your intuition, your gut, your heart, your mind, everything in you is pointing at this thing that's like, you're like, damn it, what? Fuck, that would make me so happy. Well, fucking go for it. You are allowed to. I don't know who needs to hear that, but just sitting still. What? Sitting still trying to project that you're the center of peace and I'm in control of my emotions and I'm just so fucking powerful. No, you're not. No, you're not. Universe is not responding to this. It's responding to this anger that is within you, right? It responds to who you are on the inside, not who you're supposed to be on the outside. It's always how it's been. So your obsessions, where your energy is focused at, right? And the universe is desperately trying to give you what you want. It is desperately trying to get you what you want. But if you're obsessed with your blocks and your anger, you're blocking it. If you're obsessed with the fact that you can't have it, you're blocking it, right? The child I was meant to be. I don't know if you've ever noticed, children tend to be the strongest manifestors. I know my son wanted one of those bird boxes for the windows, the little bird houses for the windows, and I didn't get him one, and spring came, and the next thing you know, every screen in my house had a hole ripped in it by a finch and birds nesting in every window of my house, the bikes in the backyard, all that stuff, right? Children are the most powerful manifestors. If my dog runs away for some reason, as soon as the kid knows that he's gone, he turns right back up. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? It's time to definitely make movement, right? Can't leave footprints in the sand of time sitting on your ass. And who wants to leave ass prints in the sands of time? All right. Get an oracle. Oh. Let's see. Deck got anything to say before we roll out? You got anything to say before we roll out? Fire away. Fire away. Sometimes you sit there and you become so obsessed with the fantasy that you're like scared to do anything. Why? Well, what if it's not as perfect as I imagined it's going to be? Well, newsflash for you. It's not going to be as perfect as you think it's going to fucking be. That's life. That's how that works. Right? There's always going to be something different. Men need to be loved. Women need to be wanted. You know, I get a lot of this too, and it's always just like, you know, guys are always like, there's two mindsets of it. You either get hyped up at the fact that people stare at your girl, or you make it a self-conscious thing. And there's always this thing about like, how the hell did that guy get that girl? What? Because it ain't got nothing to do with what the guy looks like. What? It's got everything to do with the way the guy looks at the girl. I'm telling you, just it. That is exactly it. I don't know how Rich keeps Leia. Why? Because he looks at her like she's the most perfect thing on the fucking planet, even though she's probably a batshit fucking crazy Sagittarius. You know, she's not. No one's perfect. I hope she makes the same way. I hope she makes you feel the same way that I feel about you right now. It's no wonder the truth is stranger than fiction. Fiction has to make sense. See, that's it. That's it. That's the person. This is the energy of the person that's also keeping someone stuck. I hope she makes you feel the same way that I feel about you right now. That's a nasty energy. That's someone who's hateful and still very, very bitter about whatever went down in the past. And you can't let that keep holding you back from having a future. You are allowed to forgive yourself for not knowing what you know now. You're allowed to forgive yourself for who you were when you were trying to survive certain things. Right? A lot of people deal with that coming out of severe narcissistic abuse relationships. It's when you were stuck engaged in those cycles of reactive abuse for a while, and you feel terrible. You live with someone who is constantly able to knock you out of character, and you're allowed to forgive yourself for not knowing what you know now. Right? You're allowed to admit to yourself that whatever those chaotic was, that you have paid your karmic debts, you have survived that, and you are allowed to be a new person now. You don't have to be who you were yesterday just because that's who you were yesterday. So what? It's not going to be easy. It's going to be really hard. No one should know too much about their own destiny. And I don't know when we'll see each other again and what the world will look like when we do, but I'll always think of you when I need to be reminded that there is beauty and kindness in this world. All right, y'all. Blessed be all those who walk these weird and winding paths with me. I love y'all. I'll be back as soon as I can, I promise.